Hello student. In my last video, we have completed the process of planning up to point number 6, that was implementing the plan. Now I am completing the process of planning with my last point, that is follow-up. This point suggests that the manager should carefully monitor the plan while it is implemented, which helps in verifying whether the conditions and predictions assumed are holding true in present or not. As students, you know that planning is a continuous process. It means it needs to be done even or up to the organization is running. So it means the manager, while implementing the plan and even after implementing the plan, he should take care, he should carefully monitor that whether the conditions that we have assumed in the past for the future, these conditions are holding true in present situation or not. It means if these are not coming predictions, if these predictions are not coming true, then is there any requirement to make some immediate changes in the plan that we have already discussed about? So during follow-up, many adjustments are to be made in the plan, many deviations we can find out in the plan, but it is possible. Finding out differences, deviations is possible only when you are monitoring the plan while you are implementing and even after implementing the plan in the market. For example, that you are studying a chapter of a particular subject, but if you are studying only, there are not any summative tests and examinations to be held out in your school. So it will not be possible to identify that which student is performing well and who is not performing who is performing well and who is not performing well. With the help of examinations only, we are able to identify that who is the brilliant student and who is the student who needs some extra classes and who is the student who is not performing well in the class. So students, follow-up is required to see, to check and to verify that whether the conditions and predictions assumed in the past are holding true in present or not. If it is not true, if it is not holding true, we have to make some adjustment and we have to change the plan accordingly. Okay. Now with this, I am continuing with my next topic. Let's start the next concept. So students, here it is written, a document that outlines how goals are going to be met. It means a plan. You can say that plan is a document that outlines that what you are going to do in future. It means you are preparing a document, you are writing your plan, strategies and many other things to be followed. That plan is going to tell you that how you are going to achieve your goal that is being followed by the organizations. It means, for example, you want to score good marks in board examinations. So that for that board exam, for that objective, it's your objective to achieve good marks. What are the plans? What are the strategies and what are the different techniques you have adopted? You will write down on a paper. Okay. So that written document that will outline your strategies, that how you are going to achieve your goal in future is known as a plan. So on the basis of this, plan can be classified into several types depending on the use and the length of the planning period. It means all plans are not same. They can be classified on the basis of their use as well as on the basis of length. So how many plans are there? There are two. We can classify the plans as single-use plan and standing plan. First one is single-use plan. It means for a one-time project or event that has one specific objective. So students, what is single-use plan? The name itself suggests that the plan which can be used only once. It means these are the plans which are made to meet the needs of unique situations. It cannot be repeated again and again. Once the objective is completed, once the objective has been met, the plan gets over. Okay. For example, you are in board classes. You have made a plan that how to score the good marks in my 12th class, in my board exams. So whenever the exams are going on, the plan is made for the complete year only. It means for a particular time period, that is 12 months or 1 year. Once the exam gets over, your result has been declared and your objective has been met. You score very much good marks, for example, 98% marks in your exam. Then at that time, that plan is over. It means that plan is not to be followed again and again in your next class. Whenever after 12th class, after your board exams, you are going to next class, you are having admission in any graduation, then the plan also needs to be changed as per the syllabus and as per the situations accordingly. It means the plan which is made for a particular project only, for a specific objective, that is known as single use plan. Okay. Now standing plans which occur regularly over a period of time. It means these plans occur regularly. These are made for the long run. These are also known as repeatedly used plans. For example, you have made a plan that not for the board exam, that I will study 8 hours in a day. Okay, in whichever class you have made your plan that whenever I will study in a particular class, at least I will study for 8 hours in a day. So it means these plans will apply in all the classes, whether you are in graduation, in the board class, in post graduation, and any other courses you are doing. You will follow this plan in your whole study life. So the plans which used to occur regularly over a period of time and over again, these plans are known as standing use plans. The time period of these plans may be 1 year or more than 1 year, and for the complete timings of the some revisions and updates can be made in this plan from time to time. But these are the plans which occur regularly over a period of time. After this, there are so many plans. We have classified the plan into two categories, that is single use and standing use. But on the basis of single and standing use plan, we can classify the plan into different categories. The first is objective. Okay, there are so many plans. You can see the diagram. Objectives, policies, strategies, rules, procedures, programs, and budgets. Now we will discuss these one by one. Is objective. So students, objectives are the goals that an organization may desire to achieve, or we can say it is the destination that an organization would like to reach in future. It means objectives are decided in the present for the future. So with this, I would like to tell you that setting up of objectives, students, is the first, or we can say the fundamental plan of a business. Because as we know that objectives are the end results which the management seeks to achieve through its operations. As here it is written that objectives are the end results which the management seeks to achieve by its operations. In this way, we can say that objectives act as a guide while planning for the entire organization, or we can say for different departments and different divisions of the organization. Because organizational objectives are formulated by the top level management, and then the other level managers have to implement that objective. Okay, so setting up of objective is the fundamental operation for each and every organization, that without objective, it is very difficult to plan that what we are going to do. On the basis of objectives only, each and every manager decides that what they are going to do in future. So there are some characteristics of objective. How should be our objective? Our objective should be SMART. Where S refers to specific, it means there should be some specific organizational objective that what we are going to do. And what we are going to do should be measurable. M refers to measurable. It means it should be measured in some quantity or in some digits. For example, we can say that a manager wants to increase their production, but how much production? Production by 30%, by 20%, or whatever it is. Now A refers to achievable. It means it should be achievable by each and every employee of the organization. It should not be out of their limit. Okay, for example, a manager is saying that I want to increase the sales overnight. So it is not possible for any employee to do this overnight. So it requires some time. So it should be achievable. R refers to reliable. It means on which we can depend upon. It should be related to the organization objective. Now T is time bound. It means the specific time is to be given to the employees to achieve the particular objective. For example, increase the production by 30% in a month or in 2 months. It means 2 months or 1 month is the time within which each and every employee has to achieve this objective. Okay, students, I would like to give an example. That for example, we can say that the management of an organization declared that he wants to increase factory productivity, say by 40%. Okay, so in the next year he wants to increase the 40% production capacity. So this is an objective. Okay, if the manager wants to increase the productivity by 30% in the coming year, so this is an objective. So all the plans of the organization will be prepared according to this objective. Okay, so top level management may plan to buy, for example, to buy new machinery. The production manager will plan to train existing staff and to prepare the production schedule. And the sales manager will start developing new markets to sell the increased quantity. So this is the planning. This is all the next step which every manager is performing, but all the steps depends upon the objectives only. Once the objectives are being set up, then only all the managers can start their operations. Okay. What is a strategy? Strategy is a comprehensive plan. You should understand it is a comprehensive plan which has been made to achieve the organizational objectives only. It means strategy is whatever an organization adopts for achieving their objectives in the long run, not for the present conditions, in the long run. For example, I should say choice of advertisement media, or here I have given the example of selection of the channels of distribution. Which channel of distribution we are going to be used, who are the customers, what is the demand. So strategy refers to, for example, if you want to introduce your new product in the market, so for that you have to find out the customers of your product, or you want to make the changes in your existing product. So it means a strategy is always being designed for the long run that will give you the positive results, not presently but in the long run. Okay, to beat your competitors and to increase your sales. Now next one. For example, here I have given a picture that is to make the marketing plan. For advertisement, you have to decide about the sales team, promotion blocks, decision regarding branding media, social media. So it means everything which you are going to do that will give you some result in the long run is known as strategy. Now next type of plan is policies. Okay. So students, policies are general statements that guide thinking or channelize energy towards a particular direction. It provides a basis for interpreting strategy. This line is much more important, that policy provides the basis for interpreting strategy. So let me tell you students that just like a strategy is a comprehensive plan, okay, but policies are the general statements which define broad parameters within which a manager may function. It means the policies are required. The policies are required to guide towards a particular direction. For example, we have made a strategy that we want to beat our competitor. Only this is our strategy, that we want to beat our competitor. So how we are going to do that? The policies will guide us. Different policies will guide us. I have given the example: selling goods on cash basis only, purchasing decisions, etc. Okay, so policies are the basis for interpretation of generally stated strategies. If a company has decided to make their goodwill in the market, okay, they want to make a goodwill in the market. So for this, what they are going to do? They have started to sell the goods on cash basis only, so that they will be able to make a good image in the market that this product, this brand has some goodwill, some quality product. That's why they are not offering different discounts and credit facility to the customer. cash basis only. They don't care about it. They don't think about that if we don't provide the credit facility to the customers, then we can lose our customers, because the branded products, the organizations that have some branded products don't think about customers. They know that if our product is a very good quality product, then the customers will automatically be attracted towards their product only. So the strategy is the main program. It is a comprehensive program, but the decisions that guide us to achieve the organizational objective and to fulfill that strategy that we have made, such guidelines are known as policies. Okay, so that's why strategy is known as a comprehensive plan. It has a scope in the long run, but policies are defined as a general statement that will help a manager to go through the organizational objectives, so that he can bring a uniformity in the decision making for achievement of organizational goals. Okay, so policies can also be of two types: major policies and minor policies. So let me tell you that major policies, which are related to all stakeholders, okay, are known as the major policies. But the policies, we can say that all parties, just say for example, directly or indirectly, the parties who will directly or indirectly affect must know the details of such policy. Okay, for example, our stakeholders, our shareholders, any policy which will affect our stakeholders and shareholders directly or indirectly, this will known as the major policies. But what are the minor policies? The policies which are related to we can say employees and the internal management of the organization, that policies are known as minor policies, that will not affect our different people of the organization directly or indirectly, but it is related to the internal employees. For example, making some rules and regulations about timings and whatever about the internal organization, it will be considered as minor policy. But the major policy that will affect our goodwill, our image, our investors and shareholders, that will be known as major policy. Types of plan. So before starting the types of plan, I would like to explain you what is the meaning of a plan. So next one is procedures. What are procedures? Procedures are routine steps detailing the exact manner in which a work is to be performed. It means you have made a policy, you have made a strategy, but in which sequence you are going to perform that strategies and policies is decided in the procedure. For example, you are going to make the strategy of increasing your sales. Okay, you want to satisfy your customers. So if you want to satisfy your customers, you have to make very much good quality products, for example. So for making your product, you have find out in the organization that we don't have sufficient staff in the organization. So for that, you have arranged a recruitment program, okay, an interview in which you are going to select the different employees for different jobs. So example, recruitment process of the company. But the recruitment process of the company, on the basis of which you are going to select your employees, in which you are going to select the employees for your organization, that is the policy. It means you always select those employees. It's the policy of organization that prefer the graduate people. The persons who are undergraduates, they give some less preference to the organization. It is the policy of the company. But how they are going to organize such recruitment process? For example, firstly they have to fill the form. On second step is they have to submit that form on the reception. After that, the third process is the receptionist will forward that form to the manager, to the director. Then fourth process is after forwarding the form, the manager will check out all the forms, and the persons who are falling under the category will be called, and the persons who are out of the category, it means who are undergraduates, will be asked to go. Okay, so this is the step. So procedures are the routine steps which details us that what is the exact manner in which a work is to be performed. Okay, so procedure is based on policies, that what the policies you are having, and for policies you have made the strategy. Okay, so it means policies tells us the exact manner and the required steps established in advance to handle the future conditions. Here it is written that they indicate which work is to be done in which sequence. Okay. Show you the procedure. It means step 1 is to switch on the machine. Then step 2 is to keep the raw material in the shelf. Then step 3, the raw material will be converted to the finished product. Now our next plan is rules. Okay. So what students, rules are specific statements that inform what is to be done and what not to be done in various circumstances. As we have also seen in our school that there are some rules and regulations that every student should reach the school on time. Okay, there is a rule for the summative assessment that each and every student should attend, okay, should be present in the summative assessment examination. So these are the rules, these are the specific statements that perform, that inform what is to be done and what not to be done. So, for example, it is a company rule that no employee will take uniformly, okay, and if anyone takes, then it will be considered as an unpaid leave. Okay, so deducting salary, for example, is the penalty for violation of the rule. So it means the rules are that specific statement which tells the organization's employees that if you will not follow these rules, these statements, then you will be penalized. Okay, so I have given another example that no smoking in the office premises. It means if anybody is found breaking this rule, then that particular person will be penalized. Why are rules made in an organization? Rules are made to ensure discipline in the organization so that there should be discipline and order in the activities of every employee working in the organization. Okay, I have written here that rules are rigid and does not allow flexibility. Means they are already formed within the policy framework. So no one is allowed to change the rules unless there is a change in the policy, because all the rules are made on the basis of policy, and you can see that all the plans are interdependent on each other. Okay, strategy is based on the objective. Okay, then strategies based on the policies that we have made is dependent upon the strategy. Then the procedure has been decided on the basis of policies that you have framed. Then the rules has been designed on the basis of policy for which you want to achieve the organization goal. So every type of plan is dependent on each and every plan, but still the direction of all the plans is to achieve the organization goals only. Okay, that objective is for the objective to achieve the organization goal, but the rules are for ensuring discipline in the organization. Here I have tried to explain the rule with the help of a picture that a notice has been pasted on the front door of the organization that no smoking. It is against the law to smoke in these premises. If anybody is found to do so, they will be penalized. Okay. So next plan, that is method. So students, methods provide the prescribed ways or manner in which a task can be performed considering the objective. It means any method is what? It is a prescribed way or manner of performing a task. As we know that each and every work or each and every activity can be performed, might be there is a possibility that different options and alternatives are present in front of us, from which we have to adopt one way of doing the work. So that way of doing the work is known as method. Let us take an example that for producing a product, a company is having two types of techniques. Whether to adopt labor-intensive technique in which labor will be used more than capital, machines, and second one is capital-intensive technique in which more machines will be used in place of labor. So both the techniques are very good. Both have some pros and cons, benefits and demerits, merits and demerits. But an organization wants to adopt best way of doing the work so that they can achieve their target and objective very much efficiently, which will provide them more profit as well as it will save the cost also. So that way, for example, the company has adopted labor-intensive techniques by thinking that they will be charge less money as compared to the capital intensive technique. So that way of doing the work, that way of producing the product is known as method. Okay. So what does the method provide us? It provides us uniformity or standardization. Each and every employee, if each and every employee of an organization will perform the task, different tasks with the same method. So it will provide uniformity and standardization. As I have given a picture here that he is a manager and he wants to perform a particular task, but for that task, 5 alternatives are available in front of him. So he has to decide, because adopting 5 methods for performing a particular task is not necessary, because it will create a confusion in the organization. Different people will perform different tasks. So he has to decide one method. So that method, for example, he adopts the second method. Okay. So that second way of performing a task will be considered as the method of the organization. I would also like to give you an example. Let us take an example of our school. For example, preparing a detailed plan to start a new academic year of your school will be considered as a program. It means that program will involve your new timetable, appointing new teachers if required, printing of new academic curriculum with all school rules and regulations also, and there might be some budget also, that what we are going to construct a new building or everything. It means deciding about new academic year, which involves the objective also to provide better education, which involves the budget, which involves the timetable. It means the policy we are going to adopt. Procedure is the timetable that which period is going to be followed in the new academic year on the first phase, second phase, third phase. It means a combination of all. It will be considered as a program. Now coming up to our next plan, that is budget. Everyone is much more familiar about the budget. We can say that a budget is a statement of expected results expressed in numerical terms for a definite period in the future. It means, student, budget is a written statement of expected results which is expressed in numerical terms, or it refers to a statement which forecasts, okay, in which we try to forecast that the expected results of a specific task to be performed in the future period. Okay, it provides the quantitative result. It is the most important thing of the budget, that it provides some quantitative or numerical results based on future facts and figures. Okay, example, sales budget, that or production budget, that to produce a particular product we need to spend 20 crores on a particular production of the production process. So it is a production budget. I have written here expected results. Okay, it is an expected result that might be, the budget can be more than the expected or less than the expected and as same as the expected. Okay, it doesn't provide us the exact idea for a particular thing, but it provides some expectation. We try to make some expectations that such amount of money we need to spend on a particular work. Okay, so budgets are the plan which acts as a control device. Okay, it is a control device because budgets are the fundamental plan in most organizations, that without making budget we will not be able to decide that on advertisement policy, on the procedures that we have selected, on the techniques that we have selected, and the methods also. What is the exact figure that we need to spend? So without budget it is very difficult. So it means budget are the fundamental plan. Let us take an example that the top level management sets annual targets for all departments. Okay, purchase, sales, and advertisement departments are there. So to give sales targets, they need to prepare sales budget. Okay, as product wise, area wise, or sales manager wise. Okay, so the preparation of budget requires previous year's sales, market situation, demand of the product, you can say, and many other things. So after completion of the year, new sales targets is set and a new budget is prepared. Okay, so the annual target can be used to evaluate the actual performance. So budget are based on the previous year performance also. We present and for the coming year and the coming time period, we have to make a budget in quantitative terms. Okay. So here I am giving you an example. We have completed our different